Hey, my name is Jared Moon, and I'm part of a group of underground athletes you've probably never even heard of before. We don't rely on fancy equipment for training, and most of us don't even have gym memberships. In fact, our motivation comes from within. You see, we have jobs, families, and responsibilities, but we still have big goals, and they aren't getting achieved at a Globo Gym. For that reason, we have to do things differently. Our training has to be smarter. We don't have every piece of equipment known to man or a ton of time to train, and we don't need it, because we are achieving amazing things without it. So how do we do it? If you ask your average personal trainer or gym goer, they'd call us crazy. Yet we're seeing results better than most every single day. And it's happening by blending mental training with physical training and becoming an athlete. What we call, and welcome to, Garage Gym Athlete.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. My name is Jared Moon. With me is Joe Courtney. What's up, Joe?
Hey, good morning, Jared.
And we have Kyle. What's up, Kyle?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. Good. Super pumped to have you on the podcast, the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. You've been killing it in your garage gym or a friend's garage gym. I don't know. We'll get the full story. You've been killing it for a while, and I want to hear all about it. But before we dive into any of that awesomeness, can you give us kind of like just the intro, like who you are, what you do, and how you train?
Yeah, absolutely. So I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I've been a Christian youth minister for 4 years now. I'm in my 5th year doing that kind of work. Married, got one son. My son just turned 1 last month. Actually, today, he's 13 months old today, so that's nice. Pretty cool. Yeah, I have a friend, one of my best friends from college. He and I kind of both moved back to Chattanooga. Well, I moved back to Chattanooga. I'm from here originally. He's from Nashville, Tennessee originally. But he moved here to work, and I moved here to work, and he kind of started building a garage gym for himself, and I kind of helped him get some of the intro equipment, and so he and I started working out together. And then he was actually living in an apartment at the time, he and his wife were. And so we actually started out with Windler's 531. Oh, nice. And so we would do, you do the squats, the deadlifts, the bench, and the strict press. And we would do that in his apartment. That's where his gym was in his apartment. And so it's on a 3rd level, so we weren't like doing any kind of cleans or anything like that. And, yeah. But then they bought a house, and he had a garage, so it just kind of blew up from there. And so he's got a little bit of everything now. But I still go over there, and that's kind of where I do my thing now.
That's awesome. I've seen it, man. It looks like a pretty epic setup he has.
Yeah. And I contributed about this much of that. I had a few dumbbells that I donated, and I helped him buy the squat rack, and I helped transport the stuff that he would buy. Like we'd go to, I think we had to go to UPS a couple of times and actually pick the stuff up instead of wait on it to get delivered.
Oh yeah.
And so I helped deliver stuff and help set up, but he's bought or built all the rest of it. So, but yeah, it's pretty epic. It's
more than a lot of people have.
Yeah, it's really good.
So you donated a little time, a little muscle, and a little bit of equipment, and so now you have full rights to the garage.
That's right.
A free garage gym membership.
That's right.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And so, why did you decide to start doing the garage gym? I mean, why not just go run outside or do something in a spare bedroom or get a Globo Gym membership? Why did you decide to go that route?
Well, I'm not a very self-motivating person, as you know. So just going out and running is not something that I would really want to do, which I don't like running anyway. But just going out and doing that for myself is not really something that I want to do, or doing something in a spare bedroom at my place, is not really something that I can really motivate myself to do over a long period of time. But I really like lifting weights. And so that's kind of just my preferred training style. But the thing with the garage gym is all the stigmas that come with like a Globo Gym, you don't have that. in a garage gym. You know what I mean? Like, we already said I don't pay a membership fee. And I invested a little bit in the beginning just to get equipment and stuff. But other than that, it was just there hasn't been a whole lot of cost on my end. Don't have to wait on people to get done on a machine or something so that I can finish. Don't have to worry about people judging me, when I walk in there, or find myself judging other people. I don't have to see naked guys in the dressing room.
That's a huge perk right there. You should have led with that one.
Yeah, staying away from that kind of stuff. And
Look at the rite of passage nowadays, though.
Yeah. Yep. I put my time in the Globo Gym. But then I was like, no thanks.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the equipment's different in a garage gym. I'm not squatting on a Smith machine or doing anything like that. I'm doing actual squats and all that stuff. And I can go in there and I do my thing and I leave. I don't have to be worried about other people being in there and cramming my space and all that stuff. So I really enjoy it that way.
And so what were you trying to, well, actually I want to know, what were you doing pre all of this stuff? You said you had some time in the Globo Gym. Is that kind of what you were doing?
Yeah, I did some of that. Actually, when I was in college, we went to school at Tennessee Tech up in Cookeville, Tennessee, which is where Rich Broning's from.
Yeah.
And my buddy Caleb, the guy whose gym I use, he's a CrossFitter, and so he built his gym to do CrossFit and stuff. And I did CrossFit with him there for a while. Once we moved to his house, out of the apartment, I did CrossFit with him there for a while. But I just really don't like CrossFit. It's just not my thing. And so it's not to knock it for anybody else. CrossFit's great and it's done a lot of good for a lot of people, but it's just not my thing. And so I was trying to trudge through that, and force myself to enjoy CrossFit and force myself to, just kind of get into it, and do that with them. And he's got some other guys that go over there and still do that, like 3 or 4 days a week at his house. After they all get off work, they all go and work out and do CrossFit over there. But it just wasn't for me, and I just didn't enjoy it. And in college, I just, I figured I need to work out. And so I just went to the Global Gym instead of doing CrossFit like all my buddies were doing. I had one other guy that would go with me from time to time, and we did that for a few months, and then it just kind of petered out. You know what I mean? Just wasn't really, I didn't really have a good reason for doing it. I just felt like I needed to work out because everybody else was working out, but I just didn't really like it. And so I just kind of flip-flopped from there for a few years. Just kind of, I would go for a few weeks or a few months, and then I would not go for longer than that, and then I'd kind of get back into it and kind of swing back and forth that way for a while.
Matt Fraser just moved to Tennessee. Your buddy isn't his neighbor, is he? Because he mentions that he has a neighbor that's a garage gym athlete.
I don't know. Matt Fraser, I've been seeing on their Instagram that he's been hanging out with Rich, and so he probably moved to Cookeville is probably where he is. But Chattanooga is about an hour and a half south of Cookeville. So no, we're not neighbors, but I'm sure that all those guys, and actually girls, a lot of CrossFit athletes come and they'll stay in Cookeville for a little while and train with Rich at his gym and all that stuff.
Is there something in the water there?
It's just
hard work.
It's, man, that's he's just one of those guys, that just he's super talented and just really goes for it and makes sure that he does everything right, and people are just drawn to that, and when you win 4 straight, CrossFit games, then, you gain some credibility there too. So,
yeah, I've been up to his gym a few times. I haven't been up to his new one. I think he got a new one like a year or two ago. But I've been up there a few times for different. I've been up there a few times for athlete camps and whatnot. And man, it's just incredible. Like you see CrossFit Games athletes and they're going fast, and I don't know if you're watching it on TV, it's one thing, but to actually do the same workout next to one of these guys makes you just feel like, oh wow, I don't even have the slightest bit. Because I was there for a CrossFit Open, and Rich and I were doing the same workout, and my fitness is like this. I start off right here, and then it's just okay, over the course of time, and Rich would just this steady increase over the course of the entire workout. And I was like, it's just a different level right there.
Yeah, it just makes you feel really small when you're working out next to people. I went and worked out with them a couple of times, when they were doing, actually a couple of my friends were trainers at CrossFit Mayhem. And so, they were trying to get me to do CrossFit. And so, I would let them talk me into going over there and doing a workout with them every now and then and stuff. And, but I've trained, I've watched him, watched Rich in the gym, and it's just, he's a machine, man. It's like he's not even human. It's unbelievable. But not my thing. It's just not my
right.
thing.
Not, and no problem with that. So I do want to know, because we were kind of talking about, it sounds like you maybe had like a consistency problem pre-garage gym. Like you said you'd do something for a few weeks and then stop. But I know personally that you've been pretty consistent a majority of this year. So what changed? Like why are you so consistent when most people, I think it'd be the opposite. If they gave up the gym membership and they're like, yeah, I'm just going to go in my garage or my friend's garage, it seems like consistency would fall off even further. So what's it been for you, man, that keeps you going?
Well, I think, and not to like skip ahead to an answer for another question, but I think it's figuring out what my why was.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When I was, like I said, when I was working out in college, and doing the Globo Gym thing and all that kind of stuff, I felt like I needed to go work out just because all my friends were working out. But I didn't want to, I didn't want to go do CrossFit. Also, I was broke. I don't know how they afforded doing CrossFit during college.
Right.
I mean, I could barely eat in college, but, I found a place, that was actually a place opened up there in Cookville that was like, I think it was $15 a month or something like that. So anybody can afford that, and so I was like, okay, this is cheap. I'll do this. But I felt like I needed to work out just because I needed to work out. You know what I mean? Because everybody else was doing it. I didn't really have like a solid reason for actually doing it. And that's what's changed now is, I have a bigger why now. I have a wife, I have a son. I want to stick around for them. I have, all kinds of health problems that run in my family, especially with the men in my family on both sides. And, just trying to make sure that I can kind of stave off those things and stay away from those things as long as I can and just make myself a healthier person. And so it's not just, I'm not trying to impress anybody, obviously. I'm already married, so I did my thing, So, but so it's not just that, it's not something it's a deeper reason than that, you know what I mean? And so I think that's what's changed is just having a bigger why and having a better reason for actually sticking with it instead of just doing it for doing it.
I think it helps that you have your buddy that you do it with. So it's like you two kind of joined up together versus if you go to a gym and you meet somebody there, you're, it's like, hey, I'll be there this day or I might not be there this day. But if it's just you two, then it's like you kind of can help hold each other accountable.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
So let's
accountability.
Accountability. One thing you mentioned, there's been a ton of research on intrinsic versus extrinsic motivators, and people who are saying, yeah, I want a six-pack or I want to lose 7 pounds or whatever. While it's okay to have those goals, whenever I talk about this, I try not to act like those aren't okay goals. It's okay to like say you want to lose weight or get a six-pack, but if it's not backed up with some sort of like you, for your wife and your kid and stuff like that, which is really intrinsic, then it's not going to stick because, like, why would anyone wake up in the morning and be like, yeah, you know what, today, 10 pounds, want to lose it. That's all. That's my entire focus today. Like, I don't know, maybe some people, but the research doesn't back that up, doesn't support it. People don't stick when it's just these extrinsic motivators that don't really matter.
Yeah, that's definitely my experience is, having I hate to call it shallow, but to me, the reason was shallow. You know what I mean? It may not be that way for somebody else, but for me, just working out for the sake of working out, that was a shallow reason for me to do it. And it's a much deeper reason. It's definitely more intrinsic now. And that's what's kind of helped me keep pushing through it.
That's awesome, man. Well, you've been a garage gym athlete for a while, so let's talk about what some of your current goals are and maybe some of your past accomplishments over the last, year or so.
Okay. Well, current goals, when I first decided I was going to, join your program and do this for real, I set a goal to lose 50 pounds. And so that for me, I was at 235 at the time, which is the heaviest that I've ever been. And so I set a goal to get down to 185. I'm still 5 pounds short of that. For some reason, I can't get past 190. I'm just stuck at. I've been stuck at 190 for like a month and a half now. But so body weight goals was definitely lose 50 pounds.
And so you've lost 45.
Yeah, lost 45.
Yeah,
That's still huge.
Let's not focus on getting stuck 5 pounds short. That's that's huge. You lost 45 pounds. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's been amazing. And I've got people asking me, how you doing it, and complimenting me and all that kind of stuff. And of course, all the health, benefits that come along with that, just feeling better, having more energy, all that kind of stuff. I can concentrate more, just feel better just in general. And really that's been, and I really haven't been like, I say I'm stuck at 190, but I haven't been like, oh man, I'm stuck at 190. What am I going to, it's like I've lost 45 pounds and I got to this point where I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? I'm like, I wanted to lose this weight, but what I didn't realize was going to happen on the way was that I was going to develop just a more healthy lifestyle and just become a healthier person in general. And that's what's really been good. That's another factor that's kept me going with it too, is, and I just feel so much better. And just being a healthier person that way, even though I haven't met my weight loss goal yet, I'm still living a much better life than I was before I started. And so I'm, I don't want to say I'm content, but I'm not, I still would love to hit that weight loss goal, but I'm also really happy with the results so far, and just being healthier in general and just feeling a lot better. So that's been really good for me.
That's awesome, man. And I just want to share, so Kyle and I have been working together for a while inside of Garage Gym Athlete, and so he's lost 45 pounds, which is awesome. I can't really take any credit for it because it's been 100% his, work ethic and determination. But what I find so interesting is you would think if you hear about someone losing 45 pounds that I or someone on my team gave you like this strict nutrition plan and like, okay, here's your exact diet to follow. Here's what to eat every single day. But what we did was real simple. Just with our 80-20 and 90-10 goals that we would do on like a weekly basis. But I'd like to get your opinion on that. Maybe tell everybody a little bit about how that worked for you, because to be honest, I don't even know fully behind the scenes what it was looking like for you, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah. So the diet thing, I've always had a really, really bad relationship with food. I've been overweight my entire life. That's just, ever since I was a kid, I almost feel like I started out that way, you know what I mean? But I've just always had a bad relationship with food. I've always had a steady diet of, fast food and processed food and a lot of sugar and all that kind of stuff. And that's just how I've always been. And so I knew coming into it that it wasn't just going to be about working out to lose weight, because like I'd done different programs in the past, like I said, and, I might lose a couple pounds or something like that. But, other than that, it wasn't, I didn't really change my diet at all while I was doing that. And so working out might get me, 5 or 10 pound difference, but that was it. You know what I mean? And so I knew if I'm going to lose 50 pounds, like something is going to have to really drastically change. And so I knew that. And so that was a big goal for me too, was trying to just develop a better relationship with food in general, and trying to understand what kind of food I need to eat, what kind of food I should stay away from. If we go out to a restaurant somewhere, and I look at the menu, can I eat healthy? Can I make good decisions? Or am I just screwed if I go to a restaurant? You know what I mean? That's just kind of, so learning those things has really helped me out too. And just having really simple, basic principles. I always thought that, eating healthy was really complicated, and all the meal prep and, counting your carbs, doing all the macros and all that kind of stuff. And that works for a lot of people, you know what I mean? But what really helped me was just having some simple guidelines to follow and just sticking to them, you know what I mean? And that's what I did. And I loved the 80. When you first told me about the 80-20 rule, I was like, that's so easy. You know what I mean? Like, this many meals need to be healthy. This many meals can be unhealthy. And boom, just sustain it. Just keep it that way.
And I'll explain that a little bit more for anyone listening who's not sure. So what we do is, after Kyle kind of learned the basic, healthy eating principles, which I think you picked a lot up in the nutrition course, right? I think that helped a little bit. And so then I would just challenge him to be like, okay, you kind of know what healthy is now, what unhealthy is. And so, if you're going to eat, 21 meals in a week, 80% of those need to be healthy, following the healthy guidelines, and 20% can be, you can fudge with it. And then we worked on, so we did that 80-20 for a while, and then we moved to 90-10. So 90% of all your meals need to be healthy and 10% of them, and just slowly work through that process. Man, you saw some phenomenal results doing that, and I'm really impressed with your dedication there.
Yeah, it was really, it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be to stick to it. You know what I mean? Having, just like I said, just having those basic principles, of trying to do your best to stay away from carbs, definitely low carb, not necessarily no carb, but low carb, stay away from them as much as you can, stay away from sugar and processed foods, all that kind of stuff, just 3 or 4 principles and stick to that. And then, for your unhealthy meals every week, eat whatever you want, you know what I mean? And one thing that I'll share that actually really helped me out too was one of the things that you said when we first started talking about this, and you started talking about cheat meals, right? And saying, don't call it a cheat meal, you know what I mean? Because cheating gives you an advantage that actually helps you get ahead, you know what I mean? And he said, if you're calling it a cheat meal, then you're saying that this meal that's unhealthy for you is giving you an unfair advantage to help you get ahead. When really, what the unhealthy meal is going to do is actually going to pull you back. So you really can't call it a cheat meal because it's not giving you a good advantage that gets you ahead. And so thinking about it that way actually helped me just think about food in general in a better way, and just really helped spark that transformation of that, relationship with food of, this, if anything, the healthy meals are the cheat meals, you know what I mean? Because they're the ones that give you advantage of making you better. So that really just kind of flipped everything on its head, and I was like, oh man, that makes a whole lot of sense. And so just thinking about it in a different way just really helped.
Yeah, that and just the word diet can kind of create an unhealthy relationship and turn how you eat into a negative, versus I noticed how you were talking about it is that you viewed it more as a positive, like, okay, I know, like, I was given these guidelines, I know I can have this, and then it's fine because I can still go and do this. But I've read a lot where, it's bad to use the word diet. I'm pretty sure Jared probably didn't put you on a diet. It's just, hey, you should kind of stay within these parameters. You still have a lot of flexibility here and there, but, just kind of put off these few things. Mm-hmm. And then you start with a little bit wider, and then as you get more accustomed to it, you just kind of narrow it in, and that's where you go 80-20.
Yeah.
So I want to hear some about your PRs, man. I know you hit some PRs over the last couple months. I'm pretty sure Joe has sent you a PR shirt. He probably has to send you more than one, in all honesty. But so you're losing 45 pounds, and how are your strength numbers? They went up or go down, or what happened?
Strength numbers went up initially. They've kind of gone down a little bit just because I kind of fell off a little bit with consistency. When I started with Accelerate, so I started 2 cycles ago. But during Accelerate, my numbers went really high. I hit a 40-pound increase on my deadlift. I think a 15 or 20 on my squat, and then 10 on my strict press. But my deadlift was 315. And so that's what I got my PR shirt for 300, but then I hit 315 after that. But 300 was incredible for me because I've never lifted 300 on anything, you know what I mean? So when I sent you the video of that lift, and I think I posted it on the Facebook page too. But when I lifted that, like I watched the video now, and it's kind of funny, but like at the end of it, when I'm walking back towards my phone to turn my phone off, and stop the video, like I'm like smiling when I get there, but like inside I'm just like I wanted to burn the place down out of happiness. You know what I mean? It was like, it was awesome, lifting 300 pounds, and I'd never lifted 300 on anything, and so that was just really cool. And so
burn the place down out of happiness.
Yeah, that's a Michael Scott quote. So
I've been to that level of happiness before.
I mean, it was awesome. And then and that was 300, and then I hit 315, 2 or 3 weeks later, and so it was still, I was still going up, and that was really awesome. So
that's great, man. Yeah, that Accelerate program is like, I think we're gonna have to do it once a year. It's dangerously effective, but
yeah,
you got to put in a lot of work to get it done too. All right, man. Let's move to the hardest workout you've ever done.
Okay. Well, I try to push traumatic memories out of my head as much as I can. But
we're bringing up some bad stuff right now.
Yeah. Well, I say that because I don't remember all of the details of the workout. But this one was so bad. It was when I was trying to make myself do CrossFit, and so we did a team of 4 WOD, and one of my friends, like I said, 2 or 3 of my friends used to work at CrossFit Mayhem, and so one of them was in town, and so we were gonna go over to the gym and do a team WOD together, and so it was a team of 4, and it was like all body weight stuff, but it was like, since it's a team of 4, the reps are insane. So it was, I think we started at like 500 reps, and we went up from there on each movement. And I think we did squats and sit-ups and push-ups and burpees. And, so like you had 2 people working and 2 people resting, but, you got to get through this many squats before you can move to the next. But the guy who programmed it, he decided to end it on Airdyne. And so, like, I've already done all of this stuff, and then end with the Airdyne. And I was like, I mean, it was insane. I want to say it was like we had to split 1,000 calories between the 4 of us.
Oh man!
And that's after you do all these reps of like these other bodyweight movements. And I remember telling him during the workout while we were switching back and forth on that Airdyne, I looked him right in the face and I said, "I hate you." I was just like, in that moment, like I wanted to murder him. I did. I just wanted to. I don't know. That might have been the CrossFit thing I ever did. I don't know, but it was horrible. It was awful.
So I ask people that question a lot, whether they still do CrossFit or they tried CrossFit once. The answer normally starts with, "Well, I was doing this CrossFit workout." So it's like there's always some ridiculously programmed CrossFit workout that somebody got. They got a whiteboard and an expo marker and just let their imagination run wild and basically killed some people. That's
what CrossFit athletes do. I mean, they condition themselves to be able to just smash their head into a wall just every single day for long periods of time.
Right.
And I don't want to torture myself. You know what I mean? I want to feel good.
Yeah.
And anyway, but I say that I joke with him about CrossFit all the time, but that was hands down the worst one that I've ever done. He ended it on Airdyne, and I wanted to kill him.
The only way you could make that worse is if he took the seat off the Airdyne, so you had to do it standing the entire time.
Yeah, fortunately the Airdyne's broken now. Like one of the pedals fell off of it, and it hasn't been fixed yet. So
it's all over
mischief.
I haven't even
Conspiracy.
Yeah. All right, man. So how about this one? In your opinion, what's the best activity for building mental toughness?
So for me, building mental toughness has the thing that I've needed to do in order to be mentally tough was find accountability. I'm not a very self-motivating person, and so I can usually, if I don't want to do something, I can typically find a reason to not do it, or to at least do it half-heartedly. And so finding accountability has been the biggest thing that has helped me train myself to push through things that I don't want to do. And especially with working out, it's been knowing my why, and understanding, if I skip today, or even if I skip this set or something like that, I could be getting closer to, kind of failing and almost like I'm failing the people that I'm doing this for, if I skip out on this stuff. And at the same time, having to do, and I've told you this before, but having to do Skype calls with you every 2 weeks, I had to make that decision. Am I if I skip out on this, then am I either gonna lie to Jared and tell him that I actually did the workout when I didn't, or am I gonna have to sit there and look him in the face and tell him the truth that I didn't do it? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so the accountability has really helped me, especially in those moments, because it still happens to me when I'm working out, and I'm like, man, this sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. You know what I mean? But then I think I've got people that I'm accountable to now, and if I don't do this the way that I'm supposed to, I either have to lie about it or I have to face the truth about it, and I don't want to do either one of those. So I'm just going to do it.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So for me, it's all about accountability, and that's something else that's helped me stick with this long term as well. Is actually putting some money into it, and that money holds me accountable. You know what I mean? Of paying for this programming and all that kind of stuff. Because I had that free gym there the whole time, and actually that time that I was flip-flopping back and forth, like I would go online and I'd find a program and I'd print it off for free, and then I'd try to make myself stick to it. But I wasn't. My wife's not gonna like chastise me if I don't go to the gym. You know what I mean? If I stop working out today and never work out again, she's fine with it. You know what I mean? But if I was, so something else that I would say is invest some money in your fitness, because that builds accountability too. Because if you don't stick with it and you give up on it, then you've wasted that money. You know what I mean? And so I actually read that somewhere. Somebody said that, if you actually put some money into it, then you've got something on the line. You know what I mean? You've got something that you're actually going to lose. Versus if I stop doing this, well, nobody cares because nobody really knows I was doing it anyway. So.
And that's something I learned just running into 3 Fitness, because when I first started into 3 Fitness, I was full-time active duty military, so I didn't need any of my programming or coaching to generate any money because it wasn't a real business at that time. But what I very quickly found out is I could provide all the free workouts in the world, but I was like, this stuff works, like, because I was coaching people in person, so I was like, this stuff works for like everyone else, but like, why is it not really working for online? And it was the free factor. I was giving everything away for free, so people would do like a workout here, a workout there, and then once I started charging money for things at Into 3 Fitness, that's when like all these results started to come in because people were a little bit accountable. They put some money where their mouth is, and now they're going to stick to this program, and they actually start seeing results. So I've learned it from my end too, man. Like if you get something for free, you just don't respect it as much. It's not anything really driving you there to keep at it.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, if you could only have one piece of equipment to train with for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Hands down, barbell and plates.
Awesome, dude.
Down.
All right, so here's a big one for you. What's the best advice you have for any garage gym athletes out there listening?
I thought a lot about this one, and I really think it's in order to stick with something for the long term, you need to put your faith and your trust in something that's bigger than you. And for me, that applies just in life in general, whether I'm working out or not. I'm a Christian, and so I put my faith in God, and so that faith helps get me through every aspect of life. Not just working out, but especially if you want to narrow it down to working out. I keep going back to that, but it's really about knowing your why, and it needs to be bigger than just you. You know what I mean? And we kind of go back to that intrinsic versus intrinsic, or intrinsic versus extrinsic. If you're working out just for yourself and just so that you can feel good about yourself and so that you can look good to yourself and all that kind of stuff, it's not that you shouldn't have confidence in yourself, but if it's all just about you, that's going to fade over time. You know what I mean? I mean, you may stick with it for years, but eventually that motivation is going to run out because you're going to achieve what you want to achieve. you know, I mean, you can only be so ripped. You know what I mean? You can only look so good. You know what I mean? You can only run so fast. You know what I mean? And so if it's just about you, then it's going to run out over time. And so for me, having something bigger than me, you know, I'm not working out just because I want to feel good for myself, or I want to look better, or I want to, you know, lose weight or anything like that. You know, I have something bigger that I'm working for, and I have other people that I'm working for. You know what I mean? And I mean, there are times actually that I'll actually pull my phone out and look at a picture of my wife and my son on my phone. You know what I mean? Because like sometimes I need a little extra motivation to actually do what I need to do. You know what I mean? And I need a reminder that this is not just about me. This is about something much bigger than that. And so, and it's about, you know, trying to set a precedent for my kids, and you know, trying to keep them from going down the same path I did with, you know, an unhealthy lifestyle and all that kind of stuff. So it's not just about me working out for me. It's about something bigger than that. And so I would say to anybody out there, and this can apply to anything in life, but especially with working out, you know, and for garage gym athletes, like you need to put your faith and your trust in something bigger than just you, because if it's all about you, it's going to fade over time, and you're never going to find fulfillment that way. So
that's some powerful stuff, man. I think that's awesome. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I didn't mean to go all preacher on you or anything.
No, dude, I appreciate it. I think, I mean, fitness, to really stick with fitness, you have to get to that deeper level. Because I know when I was in more of the bodybuilding phase of my life and working out, yeah, I mean, motivation just doesn't stick around because, I don't know, there's just no real reason if you're just like, yeah, bigger arms, yeah, bigger chest, yeah, bigger legs. Like, it's like, it doesn't last. And so you have to attach it to something else. All right, man. Well, it's been a blast having you on. Joe, do you have any questions?
Yeah, actually the wish list. So if you could add one piece of equipment to your friend's garage gym, what would it be?
Oh man, one piece of equipment. I've actually been thinking about this a lot. I flip-flop between two. I follow a lot of strongmen on social media and stuff like that. I've kind of gotten into like watching World's Strongest Man and all of that kind of stuff. And so I would either want to add a yoke or add a sled, like for pushing and pulling and stuff. So either a yoke or a sled. I've been looking at those and trying to talk my buddy into buying one. Nice. But yeah, either a yoke or a sled. I've been looking at those two things.
So that Rogue yoke that I have operates as both. Just heads up there. I mean, it's not the exact same as a sled, but it's got sled feet, so you can push it and pull it, and then it's also a yoke. Yeah. It's like the best piece of equipment ever made. I love it.
Yeah, and a squat rack.
And it's a squat rack and a fat bar pull up. Like, it's everything.
Yeah.
All right, cool, dude. Well, Kyle, it's been a blast having you on, man. I really appreciate your time, and thank you so much.
Absolutely. It was real fun. I'm glad I got to be a part of it.